जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रवचकाचार्य स्तोत्र श्री श्रीमद ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय श्रीमद भागवत महापुराण की जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 8, verse 25. So we are talking about the Dhruva Maharaj leaves home. So please repeat the shloka after me. Narsatad upakarnaya
Nardastad upakarnya
ज्ञानत्मा तस्य चिकीर्षताम् स्पष्ट्वा मूर्धान्यघैनेन पाणिना प्राह विस्मिता नारदस्तादुपकर्णया ज्ञात्वा तस्य चिकीर्षताम् स्पष्ट्वा मूर्धानि अघ्घेन पाणिना प्राह विस्मिता नारदस्तदुपकर्णया तस्य ज्ञानत्वा तस्य चिकीर्षताम् स्पृष्ट्वा मूर्धानि अघ्घेन पाणिना प्राह विस्मिता।
Yatva tasya chikiršitam Sprishva murdhanyagagnena Panina praha vishmitaha Naradastadupakarnya Yatva tasya chikiršitam
Anybody else? Mataji? So, the word meanings translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshunamalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruvai Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manabhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swam Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapat Kamlam Shri Gurana Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sagritam Sahagan Ragnatvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sarabhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakha Natavascha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhaksha kripa sindhuvaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavyo namo namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So let's begin with the word meanings, translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Repeat the word meanings after me. Narada, the great sage Narada. Tat, that. Upakaranaya, overhearing. Jnanatva, and knowing. Tasya, his. Dhruv Maharaj. Chikirtishva, tam, activities. Spashtva, by touching. Murdhani, on the head. Aghaghena, which can drive away all sinful activities. Panina, by the hand. Praha, said. Vismitaha, being surprised. Repeat the translation, please. The great sage Narada overheard this news and, understanding all the activities of Dhruv Maharaj, he was struck with wonder. He approached Dhruva and, touching the boy's head with his all virtuous hand, he spoke as follows. So this is a very beautiful verse where Naradji has overheard what's happened between Dhruv Maharaj and his mother, the conversation between them. So I will just read the purport and then we'll go ahead with the purport. When Dhruv Maharaj was talking with his mother, Suniti, of all the incidents that had taken place in the palace, Narad was not present. Thus the question may be raised, how Narad overheard all these topics? The answer is that Narad is Trikalagana. He is so powerful that he can understand the past, future and present of everyone's heart, just like the Super Soul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, after understanding the strong determination of Dhruv Maharaj, Narada came to help him. It may be explained in this way. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is present in everyone's heart, and as soon as he understands that a living entity is serious about entering the devotional service, he sends his representative. In this way, Narada was sent to Dhruv Maharaj. This is explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. By the grace of the spiritual master and Krishna, one can enter into the devotional service. Because of Dhruv Maharaj's determination, Krishna, the Super Soul, immediately sent his representative, Narada, to initiate him. So this chapter, this canto, it describes here how Dhruv Maharaj leaves home, how a child, 5-year-old child, how he is so much afflicted with pain that he cannot sit in the lap of his own father. He runs away to the forest when his mother, being the first guru in life, the first guru in our lives is always the mother. The spiritual master first is the mother, who is like Suniti. So she is the wife of King Uttanpad. And in a way, we all are Uttanpads. Uttanpad means who has got the legs up and head down. And when we take birth, our legs are up and head down. We are hanging like that in the womb of the mother. And we all, when we take birth, we all get a Suniti and Suruchi. So Uttanpad had 2 wives, Suniti and Suruchi. Suruchi is the sense gratification. She actually reflects the sense gratification, the part in our life. That is the lust, all the lusty desires. That is the Suruchi in our lives. And there is Suniti also. Niti is dharma. The one who is virtuous, one who takes the dharma, one who takes the words of the Supreme Lord as the life and soul. So there are two options for us always. Being the Uttanpads, we have 2 options, Suniti and Suruchi. And Uttanpad, unfortunately, had chosen Suruchi to be his consort, more beloved consort. He did not love Suniti. And Suniti, when Dhruva actually means, Dhruv word means lot of determination, full of determination. And the faith in the Supreme Lord actually is the cause of determination in this devotional life. So Dhruva, as his name reflects itself, was very, very strong in his determination, in his willpower. He was fully strong. He would do what he wanted to do. And when his Suruchi, the stepmother, she stops him from sitting in the lap of his own father, he is very much in anguish. He's in agony. He does not like it. He's upset. He runs to his mother because he's always, he's the son of Suniti, so he's very much, he had affection for his mother. He was totally, he had full faith in the words of his mother. So he runs to his mother for solace. He wants to ask her, who can help her? Who can help him? Now his mother says, I cannot help you because I am not your father's favorite. Who can help you? Only, then he says, who can help me? Just tell me that. And then she says, only the Supreme Lord can help you because I have heard only God, only Krishna, he can help you. Another, as the next question comes up from his little mind, he says, where is he then? How he will help me? Where is he? And then she says, I have heard from the saints and the sages that he resides in the forest. They go to the forest to find him. Now he has got the answer to this question. He doesn't wait. He runs off to the forest. So Dhruva Maharaj leaves home. That's the title of this chapter. So he leaves home. He goes in, enters the forest, and he wants the Supreme Lord. That is the reason for his leaving his palace. Now he reaches the forest, and there Naradji, who has overheard everything Prabhupada says in the translation, this shloka says, and these are being spoken by Maitreya Muni. Maitreya Muni is giving the information to Vidura. So we see many conversations going on simultaneously. Parikshit Maharaj is being taught by the Shukdev Goswami, is giving the Bhagavatam to him. Then there is simultaneously Suta Goswami giving to the Namisharayana, the saints of Namisharayana, is speaking there. And now here Maitreya Muni is simultaneously also giving this information to Vidura. So Vidura is very inquisitive. So here he's being told, so Maitreya Muni is telling Vidurji that the Narada, the great sage, he's the Shaktavesha avatar of Krishna. He's got all the potency what Krishna has. He gives all the potency to his Shaktavesha avatars. So here Narada had overheard this news and understanding all the activities of Dhruva Maharaj. He was struck with wonder. He approached Dhruva and touching the boy's head with all his virtuous hands, he spoke as follows. So he spoke as follows to Dhruva. Now he approached Dhruva and touching the boy's head with all his virtuous hand, he spoke. So that is the next verse that you would be doing. But here, Narada Prabhupada says here in the purport, he's Trikalangana. He can actually know, he's so powerful that he can understand the past, present and future. And Naradji who is Naradji here? He is acting as the spiritual master for Dhruva. So in a way, a spiritual master knows everything about his disciple. Provided the disciple is as determined as Dhruva to follow the devotional service. If you are as strong as Dhruva and you follow the devotional service with that vigor and full faith, unflinching devotion, you get the same result. So here the great sage Narada overheard this news and understanding the activities of Dhruva. So Dhruva is very strong in his activities. He is strongly in search of Krishna. In fact, it says here, when he was in the forest and he was yelling for Krishna, he was screaming on top of his voice. He wanted Krishna to appear. And he's looking around and calling him because his mother had told him, you will find him in the forest. He reaches the forest and there he screams for Krishna. But nobody appears. And then suddenly, who appears? Naradji. Krishna doesn't come. He sends his representative when we cry for Krishna. So when we chant, Prabhupada says you must chant like you're crying for your child cries like for his mother. So exactly when you are in search of, when you want to fulfill your quest, you are in thirst for the Supreme Lord. If you're really in that thirst, You want to quench that thirst. So you do the chanting in such a way that you want the answers to your questions. And then Krishna sees that you are so determined like Dhruva, and then he sends the representative. He sends his representatives to you, and that is the spiritual master, he appears. That is how Srila Prabhupada appeared here, because there were many, those who were in quest, they had the thirst in them, and Prabhupada had to take the orders of his spiritual master, and he traveled all the way from India to US. So likewise, when we have this thirst, most of you must have experienced that you must have got some questions in your mind, and then suddenly you got in touch with devotees, and then a pure devotee of the Lord appears before you, and you got all the answers to your questions. So that is how that happened in the Satyuga. That is, the Dhruva also went through the same process. Devotional life has the same process that has been happening over the ages, and till today it is that bona fide. It is still happening. Yesterday I was giving a class in Bhakti Center, and they asked me a question. There was a question that popped up, that what, you talk about miracles that happen in life, then what if somebody hasn't experienced any miracle, he's a devotee but he hasn't experienced any miracle, how would he stay in bhakti? So I said it's a miracle in itself that he is in the association of devotees. He's taken up to bhakti in this Kali Yuga, the age of quarrel, where he has taken the bhakti. It's itself a miracle. It is itself a miracle that we are all present here, though may the number be few, but it's a miracle. It in itself is a miracle. So we don't wait for the miracles to be like happening out of this material world, something very fancy, something very imaginative. So these are in itself small miracles that happen in our lives. That actually motivates us to take up to the devotional service very seriously, like Dhruva. So Dhruva is made an ideal for us. He's just a 5-year-old boy. So Bhagavatam tells us not to make any idols like 80-year-olds or 70-year-olds wise men, with white beard and all. They are your ideals. No. A 5-year-old Dhruva, 7-year-old Prahlad. He is the ideal for us. It says clearly that those who actually do the devotional service exactly like Dhruva and Prahlad, they are going back to Godhead definitely. They have taken their ideals as the 5-year-old child and the 7-year-old child. You take their example and follow them. That is how bhakti is done. So here Dhruva is talking to his mother Suniti of all the incidents that had taken place in the palace, where Suruchi had condemned him, where Suruchi had shunned him away, that he cannot sit in his father's lap. She had told him, unless you take birth from my womb, you cannot sit in your father's lap. You can never play with your father. And Dhruva was very upset about it. So sometimes we feel some pain in the material world, and that pain actually becomes the reason for us to go deeper into the spiritual world. So that's again a step for us where we enter the spiritual world. So pain is a first lesson of learning for us. We should never run away from the pain. So like Kunti Maharani, she always prayed for pain, because she said, when I pray that I get more discomforts in life, I get the more pain in my life, then she says, this distress in my life actually makes me more strong in my prayers for the Supreme Lord, because Krishna, you come and stand next to me. So this proves that how the devotees are protected by the Supreme Lord. We just celebrated Narsingh Chaturthi. So where we learnt a lesson again that Prahlad, it exhibits that Prahlad was being protected always by the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord was always giving his protection to him. So that is why Prahlad, Dhruv, they are being protected by the Supreme Lord. Here, Naraji, who enters the scene here, because Suniti has given the right direction as being the first guru in life. It says in the scriptures in Bhagavatam, if you can't be a guru to your child, you should not become a mother. Any woman should not even endeavor to become a mother if she cannot guide her child towards the directions of Supreme Lord, towards bhakti, towards devotional service. She should always encourage her children to go towards the path of bhakti. So it is here Naraji was not present there, but Suniti being the first guru directed, and now he enters the forest. And Prabhupada clearly says Naraji is Trikalagya, because he knows, the spiritual master knows everything about the disciple. Spiritual master can enter your heart, enter your mind. He can see what's happening in your mind. He knows it all. A bona fide, provided he's a bona fide coming from disciplic succession. And the succession, why disciplic? Because that's coming from the Supreme Lord itself. So that is why he has all the power. He can actually read your mind and take you back to Godhead. That is, most of you must have experienced those who are very strict in their sadhana. They can really know that. So here it says, just like the super soul. So spiritual master is just like the super soul. In the scripture says, Gur jaisa nahi ko dev. Like the guru, there is not a single demigod even. Demigods, guru is much above the demigods even. Gur jaisa nahi ko dev, jis mastak paag solada sev. It says, people, those who are very fortunate, they get only the opportunity to serve the spiritual master. To serve the spiritual master is not an easy thing. A bona fide coming from disciplic succession, such a spiritual master is only served by those who are very, very fortunate. So we, being very fortunate, as we enter the ISKCON temple anywhere in the world, it's Srila Prabhupada is there. He's the preeminent Shiksha Guru for all of us. So we read his purports, we read his translations that direct us. And when you go to the other scriptures, like the Puranas, you will find exactly what Prabhupada has written here. It's the condensed form of what's there. So it's not that something has been fabricated. It's totally that can lead us to the pure devotional life. That's what Prabhupada has given us. So these purports are full of nectar. If we follow them strictly, everybody is guaranteed can go back to Godhead, provided you become Dhruva and Prahlad. Of course, we cannot do that austerity what Dhruva did. Dhruva was, we know, he did a lot of tapasya. He went to when he enters here now, Naraji is going to direct him and he's going to do a lot of penance. And just a 6-month penance he does. Just 6 months. And it says that a little boy of 5-year-old has a toenail, the thumb is very tiny. And when he was doing this, performing this penance, what happened? All the demigods, after 6 months, Indra's throne was actually shaking now. All the demigods, they were now worrying what's going to happen. Because the Prithvi, the earth was sinking. Earth, Bhudevi, she comes in a personified form to Krishna and she says with folded hands, and she prays to the Supreme Lord that Dhruva, his thumb is actually putting so much of pressure that I'm sinking. Save me, protect me. And then they all plead with Krishna that please go and give darshan to him. But how this happened, how this everything happened, that how Bhudevi, how the other demigods, how Indra, they were all actually in great risk. Why did this happen? Because of just the mantra given by to Dhruva by Naradji. We just chant every day, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We do it for the Bhagavatam session, we do this. But this is the mantra for Satyuga. And Dhruva got this mantra from Naradji. And he chanted this mantra as given by the representative of the Supreme Lord. So as Prabhupada has given us the mantra, the Maha Mantra, we do it exactly as he has told us, we would get the same potency, what Dhruva got from Naradji. So Dhruva is doing the chant, he's chanted that mantra, he is not eating anything. In 3 days he takes the fruits that actually are dropped from the trees, he's picking up and eating. Then 6 days, then 9 days, and then it goes 12 days, and then he stops breathing also. And then this happens that all the demigods, they go together to the Supreme Lord and forces him to give darshan to Krishna, to Dhruva. Krishna is forced to give darshan. So you see the power of the mantra given by the spiritual master. It forces the Supreme Lord to come and protect the child, to come and give darshan. So a guru only can do that. provided you are as surrendered as Dhruva. Dhruva word in itself means all determination. So determination, we have done this, Utsaha Nishchay Dhairya from the Nectar of Instruction. So Utsaha, enthusiasm should not go away. So Dhruva had all the enthusiasm. He was all enthused to find the Supreme Lord. So if you have so much of quest, so much of enthusiasm, and you are always full of enthusiasm in the kirtan, in the dancing before the deities, in following all the four regulative principles, if you are enthusiastic about it, then nothing can stop you. And so, Utsaha Nishchaya, with enthusiasm you need the determination as well. So determination is very much required in bhakti. So Dhruva is the ideal for determination. One can get motivated by just remembering Dhruv Maharaj. He is so powerful in giving us the determination for bhakti. So Dhruva, actually, the word in itself, his name in itself means determination. He had full faith in the Supreme Lord, like Prahlad had full faith in the Supreme Lord. He's singing the name Gopal all the time. He's telling his students in the Gurukul, those who are studying with him, he actually teaches them the Kirtan of Gopal. He tells them to sing the Kirtan of Gopal. He makes them sing with him. He created actually the association of devotees there among the children of the demons. There, the Gurukulis with him are the sons of the demons. But he teaches them the word Gopal, and they are singing and dancing on that. So that is how he created himself association of devotees there. And this is Dhruva now, with full vigor, with full enthusiasm, with full determination, is ready to follow what his spiritual master has given him. And then the dhairya, the patience. So he is doing what his spiritual master told. He did not get irritated in 1 month or said, oh, it's all done, I've been doing so much, nobody has turned up. What my spiritual master has given me, it's nothing. He didn't do that. He kept on. He had the patience. So Prabhupada says, and many times he says, when husband and wife get married, so one should not get impatient to have a child. You will get it. When the child enters the womb, it takes 9 months for the child to be delivered. It takes time. So spiritual life is where the time will be taken, provided, but you don't lose your enthusiasm and determination. That is why they have been said first. Utsaha Nishchaya and then the Dhairya. Dhairya means patience. Have patience. Oh, it may take few years, it may take many years, it may take one lifetime, it may take many births, but it will happen. It will definitely happen if you keep on following the devotional life. So if you are very strict with your sadhana and following all the regulative principles, taking all the instructions from the spiritual master, following them, your life, you will feel the miracles happening. You will feel the doors opening, and you would actually move on into the spiritual, advance in spiritual life. That's definitely that happens. And here, that's what Prabhupada is telling, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this Guru is just like the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is not the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he is like. He manifests all that qualities what Krishna has. He manifests all that, the humility, the tolerance, the patience, the love and affection. He actually manifests everything. So Titikshava Karuna Kai, he is full of compassion. That is why he travels all over the world. Prabhupada did 14 rounds around the world at such an advanced age, which no one can dare to do it. And when you just imagine the streets of New York where he was walking all alone, no one was there. How is it possible that he establishes such a big organization right here? So this is that he is the representative of the Supreme Lord. He had been sent for this mission. So right here, Prabhupada says in the purport, therefore after understanding the strong determination of Dhruv Maharaj, Narad came to help him. So the Guru always is there to help us. He is helping us. That's why Prabhupada always wrote, your ever well-wisher. So friend means who is your well-wisher. So Guru is our well-wisher. He helps us. He's the true friend. He helps us. Sometimes we think, oh, we got the instruction, that's not feasible. How our Guru knows that, like, I can't do this. Why is he telling me to do that? We sometimes feel that. But then, after some time you will think, you will see yourself, oh, you could do that service so well, because he knew it, you could do it. That is why he encouraged you. That is why he gave the order, because he knew he's giving every order of the Guru carries the potency from the Guru. He empowers you. That everybody, each one of us can feel it. If you have the personal bonding with your Guru, you can feel it. If whenever you get an instruction, or if you don't have personal association also, but the chanting makes it very personal. When you chant, and it says, when the Guru is chanting and you are chanting, that is the bond between you. He understands everything. He understands what you are thinking right now, and he actually maybe miles away, you will be blessed. He knows you are very sincere. So it's not that he has to be physically present before us. He can be miles away. He can be in another loka also. He may have left this mortal planet. Then also the bond does not break. The Guru and disciple bond never breaks. It's always there. Guru is always worried. He's always worried he wants to take you back to Godhead. He will never leave your association. He will never leave the blessings, the mercy is flowing to you until you go back to Godhead, until you are back. So this is how here Prabhupada says here, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is present in everyone's heart. And that is how Guru also knows everything. He's there with us. He's always with us. The connection is the name of the Krishna itself, the Maha Mantra. That is the connection, the Guru and the disciple. That is only connection we have. If we chant nicely, of course he's there with us all the time. If you don't chant, the vows you have taken, if you don't forget the vows, if you don't follow them, then also there will be a bonding, but not that great bonding. So one should not actually break the vows. That is, we always read in the 10 Namaparats, we should never think of our spiritual master to be an ordinary human being and never disobey the spiritual master's instructions. The spiritual master's instructions should be the life and soul. That's what Dhruva did. When Naraji actually is telling him what to do, he took it as it is. He did not question that. Earlier, when Naraji actually took a test of him, when Naraji appeared, he took a test of Dhruva. He said, what are you doing? You're a prince. Go back. What are you doing in a forest? This is not the place for you. You are just a 5-year-old. Go back. Go back to your palace and enjoy your life. Be with your parents there. What happened if your father scolded, if your stepmother scolded? It's nothing. Go back. Go back to the palace. But Dhruva was so determined, he said, no. He kept on yelling. He said, I want Krishna. I want the Supreme Lord. I want to see him. But that time also, he wanted the Supreme Lord because he had an issue with his own father and the stepmother. He wanted to acquire a bigger empire than his own grandfather, than his own father. He wanted a bigger empire to show them. So then also Krishna came. Then also he did so much of austerity and Krishna had to appear. But then what did Krishna do? We'll just talk about that also. But then Naraji was testing him. The Guru will always test us. He will always test us. He may chastise us. He may give us some orders. Many things can happen in our lives. The testing may go on. But if you pass all the tests, then the blessings will flow. The blessings, the empowered blessings, they come to you. So Naraji is testing Dhruva. He says, go back, go back. And Dhruva says, no, I don't want to go back. I will not go back. And then Dhruva says, if you can help me, it is fine. But if you cannot help me in finding the Supreme Lord, you better take your way. You go away. He's so strong in his determination that he tells, and then Naraji smiles. Naraji wanted this only. He said, okay, I will give you a mantra now. And you chant that mantra. So he makes an idol, a vigraha of the mud there and he puts there Dhruva, and then he stands on one foot and he chants the mantra with his hands folded, and he does that. And within 6 months he has done the penance that the sages do for millions of years or thousands of years. Within 6 months he's acquired that. And now when Krishna will appear, when he's supposed to appear, Krishna touches his conch shell to the head of Dhruva. Because whenever the Supreme Lord, we have read in the scriptures, whenever Supreme Lord appears, he is glorified. He is glorified a lot. But Dhruva, a small child, he hardly knew any Sanskrit verses. So how he would glorify? Because Krishna just touches his conch shell and Dhruva starts speaking the verses in Sanskrit. And he starts glorifying the Supreme Lord. And then the Supreme Lord says, "What do you want? I have come here. What do you want? Ask for it. Ask for a boon from me. Whenever I appear, I fulfill the wishes of my devotees." Dhruva says, he was so purified by chanting. He was so purified by just doing that mantra. He said, I was looking for, he says, kancham. Kancham means glasses, piece of glasses. I have found a diamond now. I did the tapasya for a big empire. That is useless. I don't want that. I just want to go away with you. You take me with you. You are a diamond. I've got a diamond now in my life. I cannot just be here now. I don't want to stay here. Then Krishna says, your wishes will be fulfilled. You asked for what, you will get it. But then what I will do is, what Krishna did actually, he took away all his asakti, all his interest in those material desires. He gave him everything. He gave him a big empire to rule the whole world. He ruled for 36,000 years. He was given this big empire to rule. But he never took it as that he was puffed up that, oh, I'm the king of this empire. Never. He was just a servant to all the people who were there. And then Krishna blessed him. He said, you will come back to me at the end of this. And then Dhruva did go back, and Dhruva was blessed with his own loka. He's there in his Dhruva loka. He's still there. And when he was being taken, it says here the death personified form was standing there, and Dhruva placed his the feet on the death and sat in the Garuda. And he was taken back to Godhead. He was taken to his own loka. And when he's up there seated on the Garuda, he asked one thing, where is my mother Suniti? And the reply comes, she's already been deported to the loka. She will meet you there in the Dhruva loka. She will be there with you, and his loka is eternal. He is the person who went with this dehi, with this body to the loka. And it is not false. This story is in the Puranas, this story is mentioned in many scriptures, and it's the true story. Yes, this happened. Dhruva did go back to his own loka where he is still there, and he is under, the Supreme Lord is there with him, residing there. So here, in this way, Narada was sent to Dhruva. So he understands that a living entity is serious about entering devotional service, because Godhead, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he understands when the living entity is very serious to follow devotional service, he sends the spiritual master. The spiritual master actually then, he takes us back. He gives us the devotional service, the principles of devotional service. And here Prabhupada mentions Chaitanya Charitamrita, where the famous shloka is there, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. So with the mercy of the Guru, you get the seed of devotional service. Unless how will the creeper of devotional service, it will bloom and reach the lotus feet of Krishna. So when this seed of bhakti is nurtured by our devotional life, when we shed away all the anarthas, all the vices, lust, anger, greed, when they go away, Cheto Darpanam Marjan, that happens with the chanting of the holy name, then we get purified. And when we get purified, this seed of bhakti, it turns into a creeper, and this creeper entwines in the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. And that is how we reach the Supreme Lord. So this is by the grace of the spiritual master and Krishna, one can enter into devotional service. Because of Dhruva Maharaj's determination, Krishna, the super soul, immediately sent his representative Narada to initiate him. So initiation means you are getting initiated in the spiritual life. Initiation is not it's not a process that can be taken as very cheap. It is a process, it is said that when you are actually blessed, when you are highly blessed, when you get the mercy of the Supreme Lord, then only one can get the initiation happen in his life. So when we get initiated, it is initiating into the spiritual world, getting into the spiritual world. Otherwise, the chanting we may be doing for years and years and years. This chanting will give us some result, some punya, some would come, pious, it will be considered a pious deed. The moment we get initiated and we chant, that is actually the spiritual world. That is you enter the spiritual world. That chanting and the chanting post-initiation has got a lot of difference. Now when you chant, you get the potency, empowerment from the spiritual master. And this potency will actually be the blessing for you to go back to Godhead. So one should get, it says in the scriptures, one should never die without having a guru. And we always talk of having a guru, but there is other way around. We have to become a disciple. That is important. We look for a guru, we search, we say, oh, I want a guru. We should actually try to become a disciple. Disciple means discipline. So that's how Arjun became a disciple. Shishastamam shadimam tvam prapannam. He said, Krishna, I am your disciple now. Guide me. So unless we, with humility, with submissiveness, we don't actually submit to the spiritual master as a disciple, we cannot get the instructions. We cannot go back to Godhead. So if we really want to go back to Godhead, one has to actually take the initiation process very seriously. It's extremely seriously one should take this process, and one should never die, never ever think of dying in this material world without having a spiritual master. Because it says in the scriptures, if you die nigura, if you don't have a guru, you will not find solace in the three worlds. Nowhere. It cannot happen. Only guru is the one who will actually protect you, save you from all the calamities, whether they are in this planet or outside this planet. Anywhere. Guru protects you. Guru is always as a shield with you. So, anybody has any question? I think so by 9 you end the session. Yeah, if anybody has a question? Yes, we can discuss that.
Thank you so much for the wonderful talk.
Thank you.
Maharaj, you were mentioning about like Narada testing determination of Dhruva Maharaj. So sometimes it happens that we may not be able to understand when the Guru is giving instruction or when he is testing our determination. Like Narada Muni would have given instruction also that this is not the right time, you can go home, and when you are old, then you can come back to the forest and meditate. And then if it is an instruction, then actually it is an offense that somebody is going against the instruction of Guru.
But,
so how can we understand that?
But at that time, Dhruva had not taken him as the spiritual master. He just wanted to know where Krishna is, how he can approach Krishna. And Naraji was telling him, go back, go back. It's not the time for you to search for Krishna. You're at the wrong place, you should be in your palace. But Dhruva was very determined to find Krishna. But once he took Naraji as his spiritual master, when he was initiated into the mantra, then he did what he said. And then he did not get, he had the patience even, because the Guru's blessings were coming. He was chanting so intensely. His devotion was very intense. And the Guru's blessings were actually making him do that. who can actually eat in 3 days time little bit, and then in 6 days time just a water, then 9 days, then 12 days may just the air, and then nothing. So he was actually, the blessings were flowing to him once he became submissive to the instructions of the spiritual master. So when the spiritual master tells us what to do, we should be doing that. We should never think, oh, this cannot happen, I cannot do it. He doesn't know my capability. He knows everything. He knows your capability. I'll just give you a small personal example. Maybe that's... I'm disciple of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. So I was, when I joined, I'm from a Sikh family. I'm a Sikh myself. So I had been reading Guru Granth Sahib all my life. And I'm a fashion designer by profession at that time, in 1999 when I joined. I had no own business. But then I joined ISKCON. I met my spiritual master, and I was there, both of us, me and my husband, we were following him everywhere, listening to his lectures and being in the temple, being everywhere with him. And then he knew I'm from a Sikh family, and I would sometimes, when he would quote some verse, it was natural for me, I would quote some verse from the Granth Sahib, similar quote. And then Guru Maharaj started telling me, write a book on Vaishnavism and Sikhism. And I knew my background is not scholarly. I am a fashion designer. I am from a convent school. But how can I write a book? Book means you got to have all the evidences, everything. And I'm talking of the days when there was no Google also, no ChatGPT, where you could research and do it. You had to do everything on your own. And I was so surprised that how can I write a book? I said, he's just for telling sake of saying, he's saying. So I was just ignoring his words rather. And I thought, I'm not capable. How can I write people? What if I miss out something and something may happen? What will happen? So I was not paying any heed to that. And the time went on, 4 or 5 years. He would always say sometimes. Then he stopped saying one day. Then I thought it's over now. But then once we were in 2007 June, the month of June, we were in Vrindavan. And we were in the office, in the temple office. And then Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj, who was Devamrit Prabhu at that time, he was there inside the office. We were sitting there. There was a meeting. So I was my Prabhu. We were all part of the meeting. So Guru Maharaj was sitting. He was also seated. So Guru Maharaj said to Devamrit Prabhu, you know Radhika Krpa? And he said, yes. And then Maharaj said, you know, she has written a book on Vaishnavism and Sikhism. And I didn't know what to say. I felt so embarrassed. And I just acknowledged. I said, yes, I had not written any word. And then we came back to Delhi. Same evening, we were back in Delhi. And August was Guru Maharaj Vyasa Puja. And then I thought, it's too much now. When Guru Maharaj has declared I have written, so he knows that I should write it now. And for 12 hours every day, 10 to 12 hours every day, I was sitting on a couch with all the scriptures around me. And I started the book. And within 1.5 months, I finished the book. And with Guru Maharaj Vyasa Puja, just a day before that, I was at the printers getting the book printed, giving the headings while he was actually taking the book from me, the rough. He said, you have to leave it now because there is no time for us. We won't be able to keep the deadline if you will not give it right now. But I was making the headlines while it was going for printing, you know. And that's how the subheadings were coming. And ultimately it came out. In 2007 August, I gifted that book to Guru Maharaj. That was the Vaishnava teachings in Sikhism. And then Guru Maharaj told this about to Jayapataka Maharaj. Then Jayapataka Maharaj calls me in the middle of the night, like 11:30, the meetings were over, it was the month of October. And Maharaj says, I've heard you've written a book, I want that book. And then, because he also knew me very well. And then I went and gave the book. He took it all over the world. He gave a testimonial to my book. He wrote a testimonial for that. And you see, that day, my faith was very strong in my spiritual master always. And then I realized that he knew, he wanted this work to be done from me, and he only did it. It's not me. I know it. I know nothing. It was till the last minute I was writing and I was getting some quotes. There is a very important shloka, verse in this book, that was the last minute added as it was going inside. It did not reveal to me that earlier, but suddenly it revealed to me. I said, oh, this is the very important verse. Had I missed it, that was the essence. I should not have done that. But then Krishna knew it, Guru knows it. Guru knows it, and that happened. So that is how the faith becomes more strong and strong. So I would never speak about this when Guru Maharaj was very much on this planet. He would never let us speak about all this. He would never let us do that. Only on his Vyasa Puja we would speak glorifying. He would never let us tell anything about this. But then this happened. This was the truth. So you see, if you have faith in the spiritual master, everything can happen in this world. So Prabhupada has given that potency to his disciples. And this is not only with Guru Maharaj. I have experience with many of the Prabhupada disciples. They know everything in your heart that's going on. I had the association of Bhakti Char Maharaj. Many have visited our homes and many have given us personal association. Radhanath Maharaj, he just offered my book. I wrote a book when Guru Maharaj was on this planet, March 2024. I was writing another book because he told me, I want you to write books. So all my books are actually with the Granth Sahib, Gita and Bhagavatam, the similar verses coming up. So I wrote a book and I told Guru Maharaj, I need a foreword from you, I'm writing a book. And then he says, what's the title of your book, Radhika Krpa? I said, Maharaj, it is Death the Unstoppable. And he said, very nice title. So he said, okay, I'll give you a foreword. But then April was the opening of Rohini temple, and within 15 days he was gone after that. So there was never the foreword came. But then on his Vyasa Puja, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj was there, and he also knows me very well. So I walked to him. I said, this is the book I had written for my Guru Maharaj. I had to offer it to him. But I request you to please take it to him so that you can offer it to him. So Radhanath Maharaj took the book, opened the book, gave it to Guru Maharaj. And then Guru Maharaj's picture, it was offered to him. So you see, when you are actually following the instructions of your spiritual master, you become actually, you are loved by everybody. All his God brothers, everybody loves you. Because it is the potency. Because you are following your spiritual master with full determination like Dhruva. And for that you need the mercy of the Vaishnavas. Without Vaishnava Kripa, you cannot get this. So Vaishnava mercy, those who are chanting, and Vaishnavas especially are the ones upon whom Vishnu is super pleased. That is why they are called Vaishnavas. Because Vishnu is so pleased with them. So we have to try to become a Vaishnava all the time. That's very difficult, but keeping Dhruva in your mind always, one can do that. Dhruva and Prahlad being the ideals, if you keep in mind, oh yes, if that 5-year-old boy can do it, if a 7-year-old boy can do it, why can't I do it? I should have the faith. So pray to Dhruva Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj to bestow their mercy, bestow their faith upon you. Hari Bol. Yes, Prabhu. The mic.
Very nice class.
Thank you.
There's, in regards to following the instructions of the spiritual master, there's a really powerful reference on Madhya Lila, chapter 22, 113. This is the famous Padma Purana verse. Smartavya Sirkam Vishnu, Smartavya Vijayatu, Sarve. One should always remember Krishna, one should never forget him. And all the rules and regulations are simply the service of these two principles. And in the purport, Prabhupada says that if you want to remember Krishna, then you need to chant Hare Krishna. And a few sentences later, he says, of all the instructions of the spiritual master, the chanting of 16 rounds is the most essential. In other words, it's the most important. And, devotees put that as the highest priority in their life. And then amazing things will accelerate their spiritual development.
That's
So it's, Japa retreats with devotees like Satyananda and Swami, Swami Vivekananda, Bhajana who wrote it, and it's very powerful. I've got all the Japa books in the movement, but I've never experienced something on this level where, because it just takes 2 or 3 minutes to read the affirmation before you spread your arms, you read one, and it sets your consciousness. So your mind doesn't bounce all over the universe. The pramada, the attention,
the laziness
root
goes
cause
away.
of all the other non-apparatus. And if we can actually focus, not do anything, like 5 lights of focus. Kali was ultimate distracting element. And we can just, and one other point that's really powerful. When I joined the movement in 77 here in New York, and it very soon became a book distributor. And all the same time, the devotees in New York, all the men, had to be up at 2 a.m. And, I always wondered, why? I mean, it was really powerful. No question about it. The level of enthusiasm that was mind-boggling that was here at the Fifth Street Temple. And then, I came across Kira Swami gave a pre-Christmas marathon lecture in LA. And he spoke about what Subhas had gone through. Subhas is the temple president in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Longest tenured temple president in Israel's history. Still the temple president.
He's still.
North American DP trustee. And in 1975, all the book distributors in North America went to the Atlanta temple to get Srila Prabhupada's darshan. They went with the idea that they're going to get the magic formula for increasing book distribution. So Subhas asked Srila Prabhupada, right in the very beginning of the darshan, Srila Prabhupada, how can we increase our desire to distribute your books? And then Prabhupada went into a prolonged silence and just stared at the ceiling. And the devotees were just like so anxious to hear what he had to say. And so then he said, if you really want to increase book distribution, if you really want to increase book distribution, then you will chant all of your rounds without stopping. And and a couple of TBC meetings ago, my course of us was there and said, is that why everyone got up? That instruction Prabhupada gave, is that why everybody, when Prabhupada was president, kept all the book distributors in North America got up at 2 a.m.? And he said, I don't know about everybody else. What's Sebastian's time? I said, I don't know about everybody else, but that's what I did.
That's the potencies then.
For many, many years.
Yes.
I think now, with the aging factor, he's at the
Yes.
extra rest, but very powerful. I did it for many years myself.
Very nice.
It really works. By Sheshika also.
Yes.
We were just very close together way back in the 70s.
Yes.
78. He would do it. But everybody.
Yeah. My Guru Maharaj, I'm a book distributor too. Delhi is always it comes at number 1. So Guru Maharaj told me, especially after this COVID, in COVID times 2020, he actually ordered me to become an international preacher before that. In 2003, he said, I want you to travel the world and become a preacher. And he blessed me, and so I started doing that. But then in 2020, when I was there back in Delhi, I had just come back from London and Abu Dhabi after a preaching session. So the lockdown came up. And I thought what to do now. And people were very much scared. So I actually thought of this, that Prabhupada has trained us so well that we are fearless. Whether Corona comes or anything comes, we are actually like Parikshit Maharaj now. If Corona comes, it's good. We are chanting right now. We have the time. We can go back. We know. And then I said, but the people are very fearful. So my husband, and he also actually asked me that, why don't you go online? I had a channel earlier. And he said, why don't you operate the channel again? Go online and give the lectures. I said, I don't know anybody around there. Physically, I've given in many temples, but speaking into the screen with no one to see, how will I speak? He said, just try. And I started, and then there came out 800 to 900 people every day coming to my sessions, because they were also, they had a lot of time in hand, but a lot of fear with them. And some would come and say, oh, I was trying to commit suicide and I came across your channel. They would write it there. And they said, and people started joining, and I would take their names, I would connect with them now. Though I couldn't see them, but there was no Zoom at that time also. So I would connect them with just their names. Every day, then they told me later, they would come every day just to hear their names that I'm speaking, and they would feel a connection. Then I asked them, then they asked me, what do you do? I said, I chant. Then they said, teach us. Then I taught them. Then they started chanting 16 rounds. I taught them Tulsi Aarti, I taught them Guru Vashtakam, I taught them Guru Vandana. And they would stay with me like 2 to 3 hours every day. Then it became 2 sessions every day, and then it became 3 sessions. And then 2020, August, Guru Maharaj, I was giving all the reporting to Guru Maharaj. I was talking to him on the phone all the time, telling him this is happening. And then he said, I want you to do book distribution with your group. I said, I have got a big group now. These people, they have come on my WhatsApp now. They are around about 1,500 to 2,000 people. He said, now, and that is how the Guru tests you, that really you are working hard, you are preaching. He said, you have to do the book marathon. We are going for a Bhadra Purnima marathon, first time. So you have to do it with your group. And your target is 1,000 Bhagavatam sets. Imagine. And I said, Maharaj, that's a lifetime target. And then the Guru Maharaj, he was on the other side of the phone. He said, okay, I'm sending you the link. I'm asking the temple president to make the link and send you. And the link came up, and I told my group, we have to do the Bhagavatam. I had already taught them the glories of Bhagavatam. And then they all were fired up. And we did, within one day we had done like 40 Bhagavatam sets. Then we did 120. Until the marathon ended, I had done 425 Bhagavatam sets. And then the Bhagavad Gita marathon came. Then Guru Maharaj said, you have to do the Bhagavad Gita marathon too. And that was again online preaching. And then I did 14,000 Bhagavad Gitas. And likewise in 2021, the number went on increasing. Bhagavatam went from 425 to 565. Then the next year, 626. And then 525. And last year, 2024, we did 800 Bhagavatam sets and 25,000 Bhagavad Gitas. And then this year, we want to fulfill the wish of our Guru Maharaj. He always said, I want you to do 1,000 Bhagavatam sets. I have not done as yet 1,000. I have done 800 at a stretch. Now this year we seek your blessings, seek the blessings of everybody, so that we are able to fulfill his wish, that we do 1,008 Bhagavatam sets this year. And Vaishishka Prabhu also, he blessed me. He came to my Zoom sessions, because every day for the last 1,500 days, I have a Zoom session that goes up at 5 in the morning Indian Standard Time, where 100 people chant with me on the YouTube and on the Zoom. They do chanting. So I have done nothing. It is only the orders of the spiritual master. They are empowered ones. And these Matajis, they are the ones, they live in Detroit and New Jersey. They are from that 2020 group. They started chanting. They came to the temple. They were already chanting when they entered after COVID, the temples of ISKCON. They were already chanting 16 rounds. And they were following all the principles. And Guru Maharaj came to Detroit. She was initiated. And the other one was also initiated. They both were initiated in Detroit. And her husband is also initiated now. So there are many like her. From Mauritius, from all parts of India also we have, from Canada also, they got initiated. So it's a big group I have. So they did not know ISKCON earlier, or they had very little knowledge of ISKCON. But those sessions with the Guru Maharaj blessings, his empowered blessings were there. So it was he who was speaking, it was Prabhupada who was speaking to them, it was not me. So everything happened. So we are doing book distribution now, we are doing a lot of services, other services in the temples, in the local temples, they all go. Those who are connected to me, they all go to their local temples every week to do some seva. They've taken up physical services there. And some of them are giving discourses now. They go and they give discourses. They have actually branched out from me, and they all come back with making our group more bigger. So they have made their own groups now. So it's all Guru Maharaj blessings, all Srila Prabhupada blessings. Jai. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapurana ki jai. Shri Jagannath Dalai Subhadra Maharani ki jai. Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki jai. God Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you.